On the 4th of December of 2009, a tragic event occurred. In a traffic accident, a student of the college, Solon Karidakis, was killed.
We were at the school prom and we were supposed to all have a party all together, and suddenly it spread all around.
Cruelness and the kindness of strangers can never be predicted. Because on one hand, there was the guy who ran him over and knocked him 30 feet away, and he just kept on speeding on Kifisias, getting away. And on the other hand, there was an old lady who actually took off her coat and put it over him so that the kids around him, my classmates and my friends, wouldn't see the gored image of their friend.
I didn't go to the school dance because I was ill. So I learned it from my best friend the next day. I was a wreck, I was devastated, I was shocked.
What were your first thoughts?
I can't describe them. I didn't know if I wanted to cry. I wanted to go see him in the hospital. Really, I don't know, I was really shocked. I wasn't there at the time, it was awful.
My first response was panic. I mean, I went to debate anyway because I had debate on that Saturday. But I remember that I broke down halfway through some presentation that our coach was giving us, and I just ran out, called my mom, and went to the hospital. One of the things that stuck with me most was his mother's cries. You cannot imagine how wrenching and how wretched it is to hear a mother cry over her baby being lost. It's easily one of the most hurtful experiences of my life.
Well, all of our class, with our teachers, we discussed about the event, and they all told us to be very careful when we're passing the road. But we wanted to make other people aware of what happened.
They knew I was doing bridge design abroad, actually, United States and Switzerland and Spain, and they had told me that we should do a bridge in this area. But you know, these are more discussions you have when you have a nice, comfortable dinner, and then during dinner you discuss those things. So the thoughts that they came up is now the time has come to make this happen.
In my opinion, I think we should have predicted those accidents and built the bridge earlier.
It gave us, let's say, a way to resolve this issue of people crossing Kifisias Avenue and accidents occurring and people getting killed.
We had to lose many people in order to build the bridge, and I feel so mad that one of them had to be Solonas.
He was a dreamer. A silent one, but a dreamer nonetheless. He always had a smile on his face, as if he knew something that the rest of us didn't. But he was always willing to share it, no matter what it was. He never kept things for himself. He was very altruistic. And he always had a calm smile on his face, as if he knew where he was going, even when the rest of us were lost.
immediately when the accident happened, Alexandros asked me to work together and design a bridge. He told me that he was putting together volunteers to design the bridge and eventually build the bridge under the auspices of the college. And I was involved from the very, very beginning. Even a few days after Solon passed away, we had our first meeting and we said that we need to do something. And the question was how to locate the bridge, what kind of bridge, and how it would fit in the surroundings of the area.
It was purely emotional. Solon was fatally wounded on a Friday. Starting Monday, as you probably remember since it was in your school, it was the boys went to the school but didn't attend any lessons. His classmates and all the LICU at this time made kind of a blank strike, not attending the lessons and demonstrating their frustration about what had happened. After the funeral, the boys, the children of the school, as you probably remember, occupied for 1 hour the main highway, Physias Avenue, demanding their right to a safe life, with the inspired motto, one of the pickets of the signs said, "Bridge our dreams."
It was, all of us were shocked about the incident when we learned for this tragic accident that happened, and but more so when I returned very late in my house and I've seen my daughter Maria Elena preparing a poster for, I said, "What are you doing there?" She said, "We are going to have a protest." I said, "What protest?" "We are going to stop the traffic for a while in order to protest of the non-existing a bridge." I said, "Okay, be careful, good night," and so on. Next day when I went again back in the evening, I said, "How things have gone with your protest?" And she said, "I want a favor." I said, "What sort of favor you want?" She said, "I want that you build a bridge." Really, this was something that never came to my mind before, that this could be done by a private initiative, which was obvious that there was a solution, but you know, sometimes the very easy things you don't realize.
It was something that had never happened before. It was a public project built on public property by private funding, private design, private construction, private supervision. So this was a formation that that hadn't been met by a Greek registration. There were bureaucratic problems. I have to say that we managed to solve these problems because of the assistance of the people in the local and major government of Greece. We didn't find any resistance but the bureaucracy. And we managed to overcome this with the help of the people from the ministry.
The school played a major role, mostly because it has people placed in very high regard in the Greek society, and people who know people who know people, and the whole networking system is extremely good for our school. Now, what they did was that they managed to speed up the process by at least 5 years, in my view, because there's a very complex issue of the fact that there were 3 different authorities responsible for building the bridge, because it's in 3 different dήμους. It's in Psychiko, it's in Philothei, and it's in Halandri. And all these authorities had to agree, which was something extremely difficult. And not only did they have to agree, but also the federal authority had to agree, which meant that the entire paperwork process and bureaucracy was definitely a major part in building the bridge. and would have actually slowed it down very, very much. Thankfully, our school has the capabilities, has the funding, and knows the right people in order to make this happen in a very, very short time. It happened in 2 years, and that was just amazing.
It's not a huge project, but it's a difficult project without any, there is no any commercial use, but it's a very social use and giving to the young generations that are there to a safe passage from the one side of the road to the other. It's a very simple one. And I'm very happy that the outcome was so, the result is so well received and also so aesthetically acceptable and is adding to the area and not diminishing the beauty of the area. And on the day of the inauguration, I had the pleasure to be among the first that we crossed over, and you get a very nice feeling of what is achieved.
With the high quality of architecture that our country can create, it reflects upon not just engineers, but all the people involved in this process. And it's also an answer to the few who tend to think of us as not hardworking, as not efficient and effective people. I think it is a bridge which reflects what Greece is about, or what it can be also.
What do I think about the bridge? Actually, it's not so much what I think, it's about how we experience the bridge. Greece is a very, very special place. Long history, very capable people, we can do wonders here. And I believe, and I say this knowing exactly what I'm saying, that this is one of the most beautiful pedestrian bridges all over the world.
I do feel now that the bridge is finished, that the gap that Solon left when he left my life was partly filled by the effort to build the bridge and by the support of the whole team who worked together to come to this final result. Now that it's finished, I feel that this gap has opened wide again.
What are your thoughts and feelings about the bridge?
Even though it was a small project, I thought and I think it was the most important project of my life.
How do you feel when you hear the name, the Bridge of Dreams?
I feel, I cannot explain, but I feel something else, like a poet. I feel beautiful. I dream myself.
Why the name to be Bridge of the Dreams? Maybe this is, not maybe, it is a very symbolic name, and each one has a different way of dreaming. Maybe we don't have all the same dreams, but definitely the dreams of the family goes to the lost child, a very, very unfortunate event. But for others, this dream is how we could repeat and see many such projects to be materialized and many others to follow, and to dream of a Greece that is much better of what is up to now.
The bridge for me is basically just a sign that good things can happen. I mean, following the death of Solon, I went into something that may have possibly been called depression or whatever. I don't know what the term is, but I felt like there was no point in it, and that bad things happen for no reason and you can't stop them, and it's inevitable that at some point something bad will happen no matter how good you are, and there's no point in being good, blah blah blah. What this actually showed me though is that even in bad situations, even when life is just cruel, you can have the courage, and it is possible to have the courage and to have the capability and the presence of mind to try and salvage something from the situation and try and get the most out of it, even if the cost is just immense.
We go forward in the moon. I step sideways into you.
When I cross the bridge, I look up in the sky, and
and I know you won't let me down, no matter what I do. Yes, I know you won't let me down, so let's just push on through. And I know you won't let me down. No matter what I do. Oh, yes, I know you won't let me down. So let's just push on through.